What's up, y'all? This is the girl from Ocean Avenue, Kennedy Copeland, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the Queen of Voodoo, Mama Shango, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the Golden Grappler, Travis Huckabee, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is yours truly, the hardcore princess, Jules Malone. And today you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey, this is Max Zaleski here from Without a Cause, Whack, baby. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the trophy boy, Tyler Klein, the designer to the wrestling world, and you are listening to the Wrestling with Entertainment podcast.
Hey, this is Clutch Jessie V, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers on Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. Of course, I am your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I saw something very oxymoronic today. An off-road Prius.
And Scooter Dust.
Why do banks have branches if money doesn't grow on trees?
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Clutch Jessie V.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. The pleasure's all ours. Hey, could you tell us what's coming up next for Jessie V?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm in Toronto, Ontario, and we're actually the harshest lockdown right now. So wrestling for us is a little underground. But I wrestle with a group called Super Kicked, and you can catch us every Friday on YouTube, the YouTube channel. We film a show called Unlisted with a monthly pay-per-view, and right now that's what I got going on until the borders open and I can travel again.
Awesome, man. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Clutch Jessie on Twitter or Clutch Jessie V on Instagram, and even Jessie V on Facebook.
And merchandise?
Pardon, merchandise? I am on Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm actually with another company that's launching their wrestling department called Millions, and they'll be launching merchandise, AMAs, and all sorts of things. So you can find it on anything on there, or Pro Wrestling Tees.
And we will have the links to all of those websites in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Now, you already said this, but you work for Superkicked. Can you tell us about your relationship with the company?
Yeah, so Superkick's the main company that I work for because it's the school that I trained at. So the head trainer, Chris Chambers, runs it used to be a monthly show. Now we're on a weekly show outside of the school. So I got invited in there and been wrestling there ever since. And now I do other promotions as well, but that's home.
That's home, yeah. Scooter, you have a question?
All right. Now, yes, we are a wrestling podcast, but one thing we pride ourselves on here at Wrestling with Entertainment is the ability to go beyond the wrestler. And I have to admit, Jesse, that it was a little bit difficult researching you until I found a gold mine. And if I said Junk Food Co. and Dragon's Den, would that ring any bells?
Yeah, man. So Junk Food Co. was my restaurant I had with a friend of mine, and we did all sorts of junk food mashups. we still do catering on the side, like we still have it, but a little less involved with it now. But yeah, we did Next Gen Den Dragon's Den, so it was like younger dragons, and we got a deal on there. We've competed on a show called Sugar Showdown, where we made it's similar to the idea of Chopped and stuff, and we made cakes, and we won. We actually won it, so we won some good prize money there. Yeah, we what else do we do? We used to so in Canada we have The Social, which is like the equivalent to the American The View. The four ladies get out and the panel and they talk, and we used to be their junk food experts, so we'd go on there and talk about milkshakes and how to make milkshakes and Halloween candy and all sorts of stuff. What else did we do with junk? Like, we had a full store up until 2 years ago. We decided to close it down. Well, wrestling was more of my priority, so for me it was much better.
And for those who don't know, Dragon's Den, the equivalent here in the States is Shark Tank.
Yep.
And you brought something very interesting to Canada, the Smash Bag, which for those of you who don't know, that's basically taking fresh food, and it used to be Fritos. They do it with Doritos. Simply, they were one of the first companies to do it with Doritos. Now that you're no longer in the food business, do you still see the Smash Bag anywhere?
Yeah, like the idea of using Doritos has been around for a while. We just we took a take on it. Like, we would do mac and cheese and stuff, and we still do it for catering. We just put a spin on all of our different things. We were actually sponsored by Doritos for a good while too.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we did all sorts of stuff. Like, we had deep dish pizza stuffed with mac and cheese.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, we served raw cookie dough. Like, we did a lot of crazy things.
That sounds delicious.
That white chocolate mac and cheese that you served to the dragons. Wow.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And I know we're a wrestling podcast, but I am a huge foodie. Kaliko is a huge foodie. James is not as huge a foodie, maybe.
I mean, I like to eat.
Everybody likes food.
Yes.
So, I mean, since we're already at this point, pineapple on pizza, what's your stance?
I mean, I don't order it, but I won't pick it off if it's there. Sometimes I like a little sweetness to a pizza pie, right? So I've even seen strawberries on it, and that one kind of weirded me out, but the pineapple I can deal with.
See, I told you, James. I told you the pineapple question would be.
And if he puts chocolate on pizza,
yeah,
you have to ask.
Yeah, like you're talking to somebody that we mixed and matched everything in our restaurant, right? So pineapple is the least of the weird combinations that we would do.
Ooh, now that makes me wonder. Did you do cereal?
The which one, sorry?
Did you ever mix cereal?
No, never that, no.
Cereal?
Oh, make cereal.
Yeah, like Frosted Flakes, Cocoa Krispies.
Like, we didn't put it on pizza, but
you put it on ice cream.
We would put it on ice cream for sure. I think the weirdest thing we did was we would make the crust pullable, and it was stuffed with Nutella, so that you had pizza and then you had a pizza pie dessert.
What I would have given for a junk food code to be down in Pasadena.
That was we actually tried to get into the States at one point. It's just a little difficult for Canadians, I guess, without the right budgeting. But maybe one day, man. Maybe when I retire from the ring.
Trust me, you ain't lying. I had to drive to Mexico just to get some cereal that hasn't been out in 15 years. So I feel you. I feel you.
Kaliko, you have a question?
Man, I feel like I could go food all day, but we'll go back to the wrestling, which is what we're here for. And I assure you, the disclaimer, because Scooter, he is an expert researcher. We are not the feds. Just giving you that disclaimer right now. But to the wrestling, because you're a big guy, and I feel like right now the pandemic is kind of like gone back to wrestling where it's kind of like the return of the big guy, because you see, like, I mean, you had Lesnar, who's been holding down, but lately Lashley's, the Drews, the big guys who actually, where you see them and they get a hold of you, it'll hurt you. And I just wanted to see if you have seen that in your experiences with wrestling, with the return of the big guy, because I feel like us fans kind of got fickle and everybody wants people who can work, but it's slowly getting back to, hey, I want to see a dude where if I see him and he catches me in the parking lot, he'll fuck me up without any moves. So what would you think?
You know, man, like I like to pride myself on being somebody that can work, and if I caught you in the parking lot, I'd fuck you up too. So I like to see that. Like, you know, growing up, I grew up with Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, so I always thought I was a small guy, right? And even now, I'm not the biggest, so I like to be able to be technically sound. I'll high fly, I'll do everything, because there's always going to be some way you got to beat up somebody else, right? So to answer your question, yeah, like I've totally seen it, and I do appreciate that, because wrestling, like I like to know that guy, that big man, he would eat somebody alive if he had the option. So you need to see that in wrestling, because it's real life.
Right, and I base that off of, because it's different. Like when I see you wrestle and someone's trying to toss and you can legit catch them, it's different with Seth catching them and rolling through versus you legit catching them like they're a freaking baseball. So that's why I think psychology-wise, it's slowly but surely making that comeback, and I think that's really needed, because yeah, it's cool to do the moves, and I know you're way more than capable of doing them, but I also feel like you have that extra psychology of being a strong person and comparatively to some of your opponents, way bigger. So it's natural for you to use your strength, you know?
Yeah, and like I like to pull out the high flying moves and stuff, but you know, like as much as I appreciate the big man and I like being the big man, there's a place for everything in wrestling, and that's what's so beautiful about it. Like there's a place for the comedian, there's a place for the high flyer, so it's the perfect entertainment in my mind.
Now, you're kind of the face of the Super Kick promotion. It seems like
I'm one of the main guys. I'm not the face, I wouldn't say. It's a team. It's a huge team, and but if you go to Superkick, you'll see me.
Well, my question...
I'm noticeable.
Biggest guy in the room, baby.
Yeah.
And you're actually going for the championship soon, correct?
Not at the moment. No. Like there's like from the last you watched the show from last February before the lockdown, eh? I'm guessing against Jake something.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was originally scheduled to, but due to lockdown, we got canceled. So we've been filming for almost another year now, and it's been weekly shows on YouTube. That was the last live event that we were able to do, and I still feel that show. So there's definitely some injuries still from that day.
Interesting.
But yeah, I was scheduled to face Tarek for the title in March, and then it was about a week before the country lockdown.
That sucks.
Yeah. Hey, you know what will be, right? So,
right. But
I'm just grateful I still get to wrestle, and the second that I'm able to travel again, you'll see me everywhere.
But in contrast to that, you're also the current Border Town Pro Wrestling Adrenaline Division champion, which you held for give or take 600 days.
Yeah, it's been a while now, I guess. Yeah, just because haven't been able to wrestle that show for a year. But yeah, I had it for a couple months before the lockdown. I think actually one of my matches, the last match I had defending the title, is airing tonight on the Bordertown YouTube page.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's a five-man like gauntlet style.
Well, that's not fair now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you kind of, because, it's pandemic now, do you count it as 600 days as champion, or do you say 600 days with an asterisk?
Yeah, I would add the asterisk. I don't like to brag about how long it's been or anything like that. So if I could defend it, I would. But yeah, I would put an asterisk saying no shows have happened since February.
All right, fair enough. Scooter, you have a question?
Now, in this pandemic era, a lot of independent talent from the Ontario era have gotten together to produce their own content. And I hope you know what I'm referring to, because your locked and loaded tag team partner, Mark Wheeler, has been a part of this. And I wasn't sure if I could find you anywhere.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm friends with all those guys. I was supposed to be on, or I was asked to do season 3. It's just not working out, but I love all those guys, so it's fun to watch.
So we're not gonna see Jessie V versus The Rock.
No, not versus The Rock. No. I think in the next month or 2 you'll see Jessie V a lot more, but it won't be against that Rock.
Now, I mean, Backyard Pro is independent talent taking on, creating essentially new characters. Was there any idea of the different character you would have portrayed had it worked out for Backyard Pro?
I don't want to give it away because I think they're still going with the storyline, so I don't want to quite give it away for them.
Okay.
We'll ask Juan the next time he comes on. Kaliko, you have a question.
Yes. You're a avid wrestling collector of figures, that is.
Yeah, my wife hates it.
Trust me, my wife hates the fact that I have a gang of wrestling chairs. Every time she sees a new chair, she's like, "What the hell?" So I'm there with you. So I feel you. How big is the collection? Your most impressive wrestling figure find?
I've probably got close to 600 figures.
Damn.
Like I have the whole Hasbro set except for like the mail-aways and the $25,000 ones.
What about corporate samples?
No, like I collect more things I like, right? So like I don't like to spend a ton of money on it. It's more just, I finished the Hasbro set because I grew up with Hasbros, and so I have a lot of also like classic superstars, and even the new figures. If I buy a new figure, it's because it's an older guy. So like right now I'm looking for the new Kama that came out just because it's just nostalgic stuff for me. I have a lot more like for figures, like I have a Randy Savage LJN that's mint in package, which is probably like my favorite one. But I've also collected a lot of like signed things over the years. Like I have a signed Roddy Piper kilt. I have a WrestleMania 5 was my favorite, so I have a poster of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man both signed it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I also have I have a big gold belt signed by Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan. So things like that. Like it's not like I'm looking to resell things and things like that. So I just collect what I want.
Oh, we about to go into this wrestling stuff.
I want to just quickly follow up on that because there was an episode of Porn Stars where somebody brought in what appeared to be a Kamala Hasbro figure.
Yep.
And there was a thing with the Kamala Hasbro figure is that it had a different design at first, and that was what was distributed to the corporate, in-house. And then it changed to this stars. It was a yellow.
It was
yellow
a moon.
patch. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that one. That one's worth a lot of money. That one and the Greg the Hammer Valentine with the white jacket was worth. They're both well into like $25,000-$30,000. And you know what? Like Zack Ryder and or Kurt Hawkins or Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, their show really amped up the prices. So my resale value is great, but if I want to buy anything, it goes a little higher.
Well, you know, I know Matt and Brian. I trained with the NYWC where they came from, so maybe I could put in a word or two.
You got to get them the deep discount.
Yeah. You know what? I have to lay back on my collecting because I have a little one that runs around, and so I've got a lock on the door and stuff. But I know one day she'll get in there.
Oh man!
I'm sure she wants her own wrestling figures at some point as well.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She has a Big John Stud LJN and some Bushwhackers that she plays with.
Nice.
Sweet.
I feel you with them kids, man. My kid, like, because I have his room and I have all my belts in his room, so he wants to yank them down.
Yeah.
Like the authentic belts, and I'm like, Bill Goldberg signed it. Give me it.
Don't know. I have quite a few figures myself. I have the first edition of the Mattel figures, the Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. I don't particularly know if I have any ones that are super rare, but the one that sticks out in my mind always was I have a Jack specific Chris Benoit in his WrestleMania 20 gear.
Okay.
I guarantee I have something even rarer. A 1996 Jack's Ultimate Warrior.
Is that in the blue or the green?
Yep, the blue.
Yeah, I've got that bad boy. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Look at us all nerd out for wrestling
I know,
figures.
This feels like, you know, a bunch of dudes like the 40-year-old virgin. We're gonna be like, you gotta collect these fucking toys.
You know, they have all these rare ones, but to be honest, my favorite ones are I was a big fan of Crush growing up. So I have a lot of his figures in package. Like I have the Elite where he's Demolition Crush. I have the Classics where he's Kona Crush. And I have the Evil Crush Hasbro in package as well.
Oh, the Japanese Mr. Fuji version. Damn. Man, you, sir. My face, quite impressive.
I was hoping in if they ever do a Dark Side of the Ring that I'd get to be him.
I mean, you could be on the A&E show where they're trying to do like the
Lost Treasures.
Yeah.
Treasures, yeah, with the Rowdy Piper kill.
I'm sure there's a ton of those around.
You could probably talk to John Pentazzi of who's got the biggest collection on the East Coast.
There's a couple guys around here that have massive collections. Like I said, the only reason I ever posted my figures is because my friends were asking me to. But it's more of it's just a thing for me. I like it, and like I'll never try and make money off of it or anything like that. It's just it's decoration. Yeah, some people like collecting paintings. I collect wrestling stuff.
I think we all
of us.
I think we all identify that way.
Yeah.
I collect souls.
Tell us. Now, getting back on the wrestling track, tell us about wrestling in the pandemic era and what it's like to wrestle in front of no crowd.
It's not hard, isn't the word. It's different. It's very, very different. You know, you like to feed off of a crowd. I mean, I'll still go crazy in a match in front of a crowd, or whether it's in front of a TV camera. Like, I just love doing it, right? So to be able to wrestle while this is going on, I feel very grateful. I mean, it sucks. We were you guys mentioned my tag partner earlier, Mark, and I traveled every weekend, whether it be to, Chicago. We were going to Rhode Island, St. Louis, Michigan, within Canada, and we would travel every weekend. And for somebody to tell me that I can't wrestle right now it's pretty incredible. So, it's it's just a weird time. So to be able to wrestle, and whether it's in front of a crowd or not a crowd, I'm having a blast wrestling.
Well, I heard that Jody jumped the border to America. Is that something you would be interested in doing? Just to
It's hard. So Jody has a boyfriend there, so it's a little different. We were actually booked to go to Chicago in June. The problem is when you come back here, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually Canada, even right now, if you fly back, you have to stay in a quarantine hotel for 3 days, which is over $1,000. So we're trying to make it work. We are looking, but it just has to be the right time and worth the punishment afterwards. So I know they're looking at lifting a couple things here, and hopefully, like I said, Ontario's got the harshest punishment in North America right now. It's pretty crazy. So the second I can, if I could drive across the border, it'd be way easier. We can't even drive across though.
Yeah. Scooter, you have a question?
Yes. Now you have a fondness for tattoos, correct? As evidenced.
Yeah.
Which tattoo of yours has the most personal meaning to you, or do they all mean something aside from looking very badass?
I actually have a pinup that nobody gets to see because it's on kind of my hip. It's a pinup of my wife, but she has so she's cartoon. She has Ultimate Warrior face paint, Hulk Hogan shirt, Macho Man tights, and then she has my first pair of wrestling boots on. So that's probably my number one.
Wait, so are we to understand that your wife is also a fan of wrestling?
She became a fan when she met me, but she's not like an avid fan, but it was just my way of tying in two things I love.
Oh, okay. Now I know what I'm doing for my 4-year anniversary.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I gotta take notes, but I feel like my wife would be like, "Why?" I don't get it.
Yeah, your wife would probably said, who's this girl with all this wrestling merchandise on her?"
I know, and I'm just gonna be like, "That's you," and I'm like, "You're like, ¿qué? ¿Qué, man?"
¿Qué va?
You just got to get a good tattoo artist, so that makes it identical.
So there's no doubt.
I'm writing down my notes right now. Get good tattoo artist.
Kaliko, you have a question, Kaliko?
Oh yes. We both have this thing where we end up singing wrestling tunes around the house. So, what is your favorite wrestling theme to sing along to?
To be honest, man, whenever I wake up, I don't tell too many people this, but when I wake up and my daughter's downstairs, I always put on With My Baby Tonight with Jeff Jarrett. And so she knows I'm awake and she'll come up and see me. So, and she loves it. So it's,
on the go.
yeah, that one has a little bit of meaning, but if I was to pick a favorite wrestling song, Demolition was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom was pretty good too.
Both very solid, yes.
What a rush.
Well,
So
you know it's not the Mountie.
well, is Assman in the catalog?
I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it a great theme song for Billy Gunn.
Fair enough. I mean, the other one would have to be the real man's man.
William Regals.
Regal. Regal man.
Such a man.
See, there it goes. See, at least I know now it's not the mount. Because for some odd reason, my kid is on a Mountie kick, and
Oh,
he
yeah?
just wants to hear it every day. Every day, it's just like, play the Mountie. Why does the Mountie get his man? Like,
Yeah, it's so funny.
You got to play her All American Boys.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That one was a good one too. Yo, the Big Boss Man had a really good one as well.
Yeah.
oh
He had a
yeah.
couple good ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel,
Concerning, especially, it's actually relevant since a certain wrestler was arrested in Cobb County.
That's true. A guy that didn't have such a great theme song. Alright, can you tell us about your locked and loaded tag team partner, Mark Wheeler?
What do you want? What do you want to know about him?
It seems like you have a love-hate relationship there. How'd you meet him, and what's your relationship with him?
So Mark and I trained together, and he's really helped me kind of move around in the restaurant or the not the restaurant, the wrestling industry. You know, we travel around all together. He's my traveling buddy, and so we're best friends there, and we just, you know, we still train together every week, and the second that, like I said, the second that we can, we'll be on the road together every weekend.
And, you know, you're tag team partners, but you've also had a couple of wars with each other as well.
Oh, we love to beat the shit out of each other. That's for sure.
That was my question. Is it easier? Is it funner fighting your friends than your enemies?
Yeah, it's a lot easier because you know exactly what's coming. So yeah, it's funny. Mark and I go around all the time, and we start out as tag partners, and we just end up fighting.
All right. Scooter, you have a question?
Now, you said you'd like to, we'll see you everywhere once travel restrictions are lifted. What promotions have caught your eye recently that you would like to perform for here in the States?
To be honest, man, it's everything and anything. Like we as in Mark and I, we don't care. We will wrestle in front of nobody, 10 people, thousands of people. We just want to get out and wrestle, and we love doing it in different places because it's just our passion, and it's so much fun. So, I mean, we'd obviously love to be able to be on AEW, like some of the other independents. You know, we'd love to go to freelance again. But like I said, anywhere and everywhere. Another big goal of mine is to get to Japan once that's allowed. So,
not to toot our own horn, but we do have a little bit of a good luck charm, as after we've interviewed talent, a couple of them have appeared on AEW Dark, specifically Devian and Waves and Curls.
Oh, cool. It's harder for a Canadian right now because we don't have the visa, right?
Right.
We get the shit end of the stick sometimes.
So you would wrestle in parts unknown if it just meant you got to get in a ring.
Yeah, we like I said, anywhere, anytime. If we can wrestle, we'll go. Like it's very rare you won't see like wrestling gear in my car. Like I'm always ready.
That's actually great. You're always prepared if you need to jump into the action.
Yeah, I mean I wrestle in jeans most of the time, so it's pretty easy.
Now you just mentioned, when things open up, you're going to travel with Mark.
Yeah.
Wheeler. So that begs the question: are you a singles wrestler that does tag team matches, or are you a tag team wrestler that does singles matches?
It's a good question. I'd like to think that I'm a singles wrestler that does tag team. I I like getting a bit of everything. Like I love, give me a singles match, give me a hardcore match, give me a 6-man scramble, give me a tag match. It doesn't matter. I like it. Always opens up my creativity, right? So, the more men in the match, the better, because I'll put them on my shoulders, right, and slam them down. So, um, I like to just be all around.
All right. And is there a particular match stipulation that you haven't done yet that you're very interested in doing?
Steel cage. Yeah, I would love. I haven't been able to do a steel cage yet, and that would probably be my top one. Like I've done ladder, I've done casket, I've done tables, hardcore. Like if you watch that, me and Jake pretty much killed each other on chains and opened up the ring and stuff. But yeah, a steel cage match is definitely on the bucket list.
It's a classic.
Yeah. If it was the big blue steel too, that'd be awesome.
I heard not good things about that cage. That's a little
I'm willing.
Kaliko, you have a question.
Yeah. Going back to earlier where you said that, Superkick is underground. I feel that as much talent that has came out of Canada, you would think that there would be like a main Canadian wrestling company that could outshine all the talent.
But that's the goal, right? Superkick's relatively new still. Like it's only, I think, going on its 6th or 7th year. So I mean, when Superkicks does a show, it sells out like a month in advance. Like we're packed every time. I find and I'm sure you guys can attest to this in the States too, there's too many shows sometimes where it's like a little saturated of the independents. So, and I find Superkick kind of sets themselves aside. And I know I'm a little biased because I'm from there, but it's a different style of show. If you guys have seen some clips, like there's no seats. We jump right into the fans. It's like a giant mosh pit, and the vibe is just so different. So it's a live. It's as great as it is on TV or on YouTube. It's amazing live, and I think just more people need to find out about it, and it's just a matter of time.
I'm glad that you said that because I feel like that sometimes that countries that have great talent, they don't have like that main outlet to even show the talent that is coming up, and I feel like that's a big burden for wrestlers that are in Canada to have to come to the States to kind of get the international exposure. When in essence, I feel like it's almost kind of like the government with the pandemic kind of shut y'all down pretty much, which is kind of jacked up.
It did. It really did. Comparatively to the States.
Exactly. So do you think like that Canadian wrestlers coming back, because you guys been doing it underground already, so you're already kind of getting that exposure, but do you think it's exposing the storytelling arc and everything of that, of the Canadian wrestling? I feel like it's on the precipice, but it's just not there yet.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of people complain about how Canadian wrestlers have it really hard, and we do have it more difficult than, in my opinion, than an American wrestler. But we also have it easier than an Australian wrestler or somebody else, right? Because we are right there. I'd love to say that I hope we're catching the attention. I know that some weeks for Superkicked Online, like India is a huge fan, and that's crazy that we're getting that kind of scope. For us, the difficulty is, the two big major players, or three, I guess, in the States, right? You need a visa. So it's harder to get that exposure because you can't go work as an extra and like a background person or on their AEW Dark because I don't have that visa.
Right.
So as a Canadian, but let me ask you this: of the Canadian wrestlers that have made it out, can you name a bad one?
That's very true.
Because I can name some bad, not as good, we'll say superstars, but the Canadian ones, in my mind, they stand out because they're the best of the best. So, hopefully I can make it there and be one of the best of the best.
Now, talking about, crossing over, and we talked a little bit about it already. You wrestled Jake something to a no contest. How that match come about, and how did you set the match up with Jake?
I mean, it wasn't a no contest. I won it. It was a 3-part match. Jake's awesome. So Jake in Superkick, Jake and I were part of the same faction. I was kind of like
The
his
Cure.
the Cure. He was part of my, I guess you could say Jake mentored me a bit. And we tagged a bit and it just came to blows. 2 big guys had to have it out.
All right.
Well, Jake's awesome. At least Jake's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that joke.
That joke of the day.
Now, your ring gear has changed a little bit over the years, and now you wrestle in torn jeans and a belt, something you don't see a lot of wrestlers actually do. I know when I was competing, that was a big no-no unless you were, unless it was specifically related to your gimmick. How did that? Was there any reason changing to those jeans and the belt? Because it does look like you have your original tights on underneath.
No, actually, those are just Under Armour tights underneath for a little color. So when I first started, I did wear some shorts, and when I joined the Cure, it was a little grungier, a little rougher. So I put on the jeans. And ever since I wrestled in jeans, only I made a bit of a switch to try out some different tights, and I have shorts, pants, I have a singlet, I have weens, I've tried them all. The jeans are me. Like if you see me out, I have ripped jeans on. So, if I'm going to be somebody in wrestling, I want to be me. So maybe a little more bigger and a little more animated, but wearing ripped jeans and some boots or some shoes, it's just me. So that's why those are kind of what I stick to. And like you said, you don't see it a lot. Like I know like Elias wears jeans and stuff, but
Couldn't really say he wrestled still.
But yeah, they're who I am. And I got told by too many people that stick to the jeans just because that's who I am. So you know what? The jeans work for me. Now I've started to get some different colored jeans coming in, so that you'll start seeing some more variety still. But same black ripped jeans.
What brand do you use?
All different ones, whatever stretchy.
Which
I got to be able to stretch. I can't even remember what brand they are because when I buy them, I just pull them. I pull the fabric to see how they move.
Oh, that's
because they make jeans all skinny now. I have to buy like 2 or 3 sizes too big, which is why I definitely need the belt.
okay. And hey, it's a legal object as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, how should people act in Costco?
I've learned patience since I've had a kid, but I wanted to throw a couple people in Costco. Like, I just can't stand it when somebody parks their cart on an angle in the middle, and you can't get around them, and they just don't seem to care.
How dare they?
Yeah.
I've always thought that Costco carts and shopping carts in general should have a bayonet on the front. That way, anybody who pisses me off in Costco gets stabbed in the ass.
There you go.
I don't like that because that's a lot of old people that's going to be stabbing each other.
Now,
And if they stab my TV, we fighting. I'm just saying.
It's not just Costco. It's people walking the street too. Like, just be mindful of your surroundings. That's all it is.
yeah, or get drawn by Jessie V.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, Kaliko, you have a colossal question.
Yes, I do. Actually, you're a wrestler. You've had your ups and downs, your highs and your lows and your struggles. They're gonna do a biopic of your wrestling career. Starring whoever the big dude that you like to star. But every movie has a soundtrack, right? So, what 3 songs would you pick that best resembles your wrestling career?
That's a good question. Obviously my theme song right now is Beast, like from this movie soundtrack of Southpaw. So that has to be it because that's been my theme song the whole time. So
It's a
that
pretty
one's
badass
definitely,
theme.
yeah, like I love it. We're actually working on one right now that's going to be similar, but be my own, not somebody else's copyright. So, I'd love usually you need a sad song in the biopic, but I always say this to people. Like, a lot of people have these sad stories of their upbringing, but I've never had that sad story, so I don't think I need a sad song. It's mostly just been me training hard, so maybe Rocky, Eye of the Tiger, and I guess the when you show my life with my kid and stuff, you can play With My Baby Tonight.
Awesome.
Oh, now that's the one.
That
One more. Give me one more. You got this too. Rocky With My Baby Tonight.
Oh, and my theme song.
His theme song.
And the theme song. Damn, that's right. Hey, man.
That might be my favorite 3 so far.
That's a good mix. That's why.
Yeah. Now, Scooter, you have actually 2 questions for exclusively for Canadians from Canada.
As if they'd be from anywhere else. All right, going back to food, and of course, when I think Canada, I think poutine. Yes. Where is the best you've had? And maybe not. It's a place. Maybe it's homemade. I don't know, but
we did poutine at my restaurant. Actually, we did it with like home fry or tater tots and stuff. So we used to make a pretty good one. But you can't go wrong when you go to Quebec. They have the best poutine because they have really nice cheese curds. Growing up, I had a cottage in Mont Tremblant, which is in Quebec, and on the way there was like a food truck, and we always stopped there for their poutine. So it was pretty good. It's all about the cheese curds and the gravy, though.
This episode made me so hungry.
Yeah. And this is probably a little self-serving, but I'm gonna change this question because it used to be exclusively about Ryan Reynolds, but now I'm figuring I'll give everybody a fair shake. Who is Canada's greatest national treasure?
It depends what you're looking at. Like, Ryan Reynolds is great. But you know, there's Wayne Gretzky is so world renowned.
Yeah, that was the other answer I was expecting.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky is pretty up there. But I mean, if you're talking wrestling, Bret Hart is probably up there as well, at least in my books.
Surprisingly, we've had quite a few Canadians on the show. Wayne Gretzky has only come up once.
You know what? I heard him on the radio today, so maybe that's the only reason I brought it up, and it came to my mind. But yeah, he's a pretty big one here, I would say. And I'm from Ontario, so like he's not too far from us or where he grew up.
And Gretzky was a New York Ranger, my team, for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
What about in terms of entertainment? Ryan Reynolds, comedy.
Comedy, Jim Carrey.
No. Okay. I was expecting Jim Carrey or Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say Drake. Please.
You know what? Drake has done great things for Toronto. I will give him that. And he started out. I don't know if you guys know the show Degrassi.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Degrassi.
So
Wheelchair Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. Like to start out from that and to go to what he's done for Toronto, he's a pretty big deal here.
Andy Stewart.
I mean, they got him as the team ambassador for the Raptors.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a championship ring for crying out loud.
And actually, you know, they just inducted one of our fans
into the NBA Hall of Fame. That's right.
Yeah.
I saw that. That's very impressive, I must say.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Got his turban and everything in the Hall of Fame. I like that, though.
Yeah.
Now, what's your spirit Pokemon?
Pokemon was never my thing, man. It was a little it wasn't. I never got into it. I mean, I guess I only know a couple. So
I think he'd be a Machoke or Machamp at least.
I'll let you answer for me then. Yeah, you know, my tag partner is really into Pokemon, or he used to be, and I never got into it. I was more of like if I was gonna watch a cartoon, I was gonna watch a Ninja Turtle or an X-Men or something like that.
Ooh, favorite X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've unlocked a completely different nerd category.
Yeah. Favorite X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Like character. I always liked Gambit growing up.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
And Juggernaut.
See?
But yeah, comics Juggernaut or Vinnie Jones?
Not Vinnie Jones. No.
That's the right answer.
Yeah, in the movies, I didn't like Gambit or Juggernaut.
Yeah, they kind of did him dirty. Did them both dirty.
Yeah.
Pitch is not a good Gambit. What about in terms of outside of X-Men and Marvel? You fan of that at all?
Like in Marvel, sorry, like just not X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, growing up, I had all the I don't know if you guys had what were they called? They were cards, like Pokemon cards, but they were all Marvel. Overpower.
Overpower. I played that in junior high.
Yeah, I had all those.
It started out as DC Overpower.
Yeah.
And then when it became Marvel Overpower, everybody started getting out. Oh my God, I remember that.
I collected those for a long time. And then I think I gave them to somebody who was really into it. My dad and uncle are still big comic collectors. Like they'll buy and sell comics. So I always grew up around comics because my dad had them. I mean, I was never allowed to read them, but they were there.
I mean, what's the point of having them if they
Yeah, the resale value, my friend.
Yeah.
Resale value.
I mean,
and I was a kid, grubby fingers.
I mean, I'm a huge Marvel nerd. I've got the Marvel Encyclopedia, the most current edition, next to me. The subscription DC Universe Infinite and whatnot. But yeah, this might cause a fight between James and I. Eventually, down the road.
That's why they should just sell 2 copies.
Which was started by somebody you know very well, Clay Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Yes. No, Holden Albright started that rivalry.
Yeah, I was Holden. Yeah.
went from Pokemon to X-Men. Only on only on Wrestling With. But it is once again time for that segment of the show. Jessie V's Bizarre Adventure. You're a wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Weird road story, eh? I can't think of anything too crazy. Like, you kind of, a lot of, when you're Canadian, a lot of your road stories are sleeping because, you know, there was one night me and Mark drove from border town right to Rhode Island, which is about 12, 13 hours away. We got there, we tried to find a place to sleep, couldn't find a place to sleep. We go to sleep in the car, and then you wake up, you go wrestle, and then you drive back home. So that's how a lot of my road trips are. I mean, the craziest things that we do is we end up breaking out in a song that nobody expected to break out, and there's four of us high on life at the time and just breaking out in song. I'd love to tell you a better story, but I don't have one for you.
What's your 10,000 Miles song?
Probably Queen. Like, we always tend to break out in Queen. I don't know why the name of the song is slipping my mind.
Don't Stop Me Now, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, that's it. Yeah, I was blocked on that one. That's usually the one that gets everybody going.
And
see, Mike Myers, Canadian.
Yeah, Mike Myers. There you go.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think Japan. Like, I'm willing to go anywhere and everywhere, but I really think Japan has my name written all over it.
Is there a specific company that you want to, or just Japan?
I think New Japan would be great, obviously, but I feel me as a bigger dude that will fly and stuff. I think I really stand out, and I just feel good about Japan. So I mean, obviously New Japan would be great, and I don't know if you like. I've wrestled Michael Elgin, and it was awesome to wrestle him, and he was big in New Japan, right? So I'd love to go there.
Strong man, strong style. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Scooter, you have any final questions you want to ask?
Do I have
Don't forget
any
the barbecue question.
I will. Okay, just to round everything out, on Dragon's Den, you mentioned that you almost had your own TV show, and then there was a company approaching you for a TV show. Can you let us in on that at all?
Yeah, we were. My business partner and I at the time were signed to a TV company called Tricon, which is actually no longer around. And they had made a bunch of reels for us to be on the Food Network, like have our own little spin-off and stuff. And it was just close to fruition, but it just didn't work out.
And Kaliko, do you have any last questions?
No, but I think that sucks because he could have got that Guy Fieri money, man. He just got 3 years, $8 million. I'm like, damn, like just for just getting his arteries clogged. I'd be.
I mean,
yeah, it's probably better. It's probably better for my wrestling career that I didn't get that.
Oh, I mean, there's a new show on Fox that you and your business partner probably would have been great on, the Crime Scene Kitchen, where you go into a kitchen where stuff has already been used and whatnot, and you have to deduce what dessert they've made from the stuff that's being used.
You know what, though? I don't think I would be good at that because neither of us were classically trained or anything like that. and my business partner was more so the chef than I was. I was more just helping along. We just like to have fun. So another show that we got asked to apply for, and the show just didn't get picked up, was to be the host of a long line show. So like when a restaurant has a huge giant line, we go and interview people in the line. So we were more like faces rather than the actual chefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And what is a match people should go out their way to see that best shows off what Jessie V is all about?
I mean, if you're looking for some craziness, me and Jake had a wild one from last February. So you can see there, I do high flying, I do hardcore, I do power. Another great match was from March of 2019. I had a handicap match against Mark Wheeler and Anton Alexiev. That was the first time I ever did the I don't know if you guys have ever seen my buckle to buckle. So instead of coast to coast, I go across the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever did that one.
All right. And since we're nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
No, actual doom first.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we find out who you really are. Are you ready, Jesse?
I'll do my best.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Undertaker.
Worst wrestler of all time.
I'll plead the fifth on that one. I'll pass.
What's the default answer?
You have selected Ava Marie.
Okay, I'll accept.
Your main event in wrestling. Yeah, no objections now.
He's like, there's no bad wrestlers. Eva Marie. Okay, I'll take that.
Everybody has a place in wrestling. You just got to find it.
Your main event in WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Mark Wheeler.
Oh, good one. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Edge. But his Rob Zombie.
Never gonna stop.
Oh, that was a good one, definitely.
Not the first. You're not the first to say Edge, but you are the first to say Never Gonna Stop.
Yeah, I loved it.
I still listen to it. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Real.
squash, fruit or vegetable.
I think a fruit.
That is correct.
It has seeds, right?
Yes. Yep. I'm shocked Kaliko has nothing to say on that.
All I know is I'm at Walmart right now in the fruit section. I don't see no damn squash. I'm just saying.
Listen, I don't eat it, so I don't really care either way. But
see, I don't care either, but don't classify something that I can't put in fruit salad.
New Japan wrestler
Anything in fruit salad.
New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
what to butt? What's the ratio? Sorry.
Trunks
what
to
is
butt
the
cheek.
appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
As a male, or in general?
Just in general.
I mean, listen, whatever everybody's comfortable in, they can wrestle in. For me, no butt cheek, just full coverage. But again, it's a lot of guys with no pants wrestling for a belt, right? So.
The last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us, Jesse.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
And once again, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Clutch Jessie V on Instagram or Clutch Jessie on Twitter.
And Facebook and Pro Wrestling
Facebook.
Tees?
Yeah, Clutch Jessie V.
And all of those links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. You've been listening to him for an hour. Buy a damn shirt. And if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us Saturday for our normal preview and review show. Next week, more interviews, of course. And of course, this interview was sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And if you want to follow the show, you can find us at Wrestling with E both on Twitter and Instagram for all the news, happenings, and whatever pertaining to wrestling with entertainment. You can find me at JamesJ993 on Twitter as well. Where can they find Kaliko?
You can find me about to cuss these people out at Walmart because they're getting my way at I Am Kaliko.
And where can they find Scooter?
You can find me behind you! But you can also find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. And for what's going to be the last time very soon, holding it down for the UNB network at UNBS Wrestling.
For our very special guest, Jessie V, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.